Okay,
Go.
ready?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, we're here for the Leafs edition, 5 for Talking, back with Bargo. Got Caps here, the muscles in the sauce, the marinara boss, like how I did that. So we're just going to be talking Leafs for this episode and mostly crying. So let's just jump right into it. I say before we go into reviewing the Leafs of recent, let's talk about these trades, pickups, whatever you want to call
Screw
it.
that. I'm taking over the show. Okay, listen. Back when we talked before and he adjusted all the lines. You remember that?
Yeah, I was there.
And he adjusted all the lines. And Bargo, you said it. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Right? Why is he not doing something now when it's very apparent that a couple of lines are broken, especially that second line? Tavares, Nylander, and Kerfoot are just not gelling right now.
The only one who's working is Nylander.
Yeah, but like it's so funny because Kerfoot got benched one of the games. I think it was a week ago or something. He got benched for like half of the third period, I think. If a Kerfoot is the problem, why not switch him out for somebody else? I said it the day that it happened, and they've been struggling for a while now, before this particular event happened. When Simmons welcomed the birth of his child, the first game he came back, I would have put him on the second line. You don't think that he's going to have extra motivation to play after something like that?
Yeah,
dude,
or a little less from lack of sleep.
Like, maybe, but like the fact of the matter is, at least change something up. He's going to be extra excited to play. I know that. Like, change it up. Do something. Like, I don't get it. And last night, after they lost disgustingly from a team that beat them in the playoffs last year, a team that's not doing jack crap this year.
By far the worst team in the league.
Okay.
Continue.
Like, they've already lost to the Habs this year, and they already lost to the Coyotes this year. Like,
yeah, but that's typical old Leaf fashion. You beat the better team and lose to the worst team.
And it's funny you brought that up. But then after the game, the guy comes out and says, the guy, meaning Keith, comes out and says, and I don't know whether he said it just to like brush off the media, but he comes out and says, sometimes you need a game like that. No, that's inexcusable. This point,
you never need a game like that.
At this point, yeah, you need a game like that to wake up. Like, at this point in your development,
you should be awake.
That is inexcusable.
Listen. At this point with this team, the last like 7 seasons were the wake up. You don't need this game. You lost in the playoffs last year to Montreal, a team that didn't even deserve to be in the playoffs. You lost to them because you suck. That was your wake-up call, not this.
Okay, and I want to talk about from a coaching standpoint as well. You're going to a back-to-back here. Okay, Montreal is by far worse than Columbus. Why wouldn't you go guns out with Campbell against Montreal, potential shutout chance?
Get the win.
And get the win. And then go against them and put in Mrazek.
Like, I don't get it sometimes.
But that brings me back to the whole Mrazek scenario too. Like, what are you trying to do with him right now? If you're playing him to get your stock up, if you don't want him on your team, like, do something now.
But you're right. You go for the win against the bad team. Always in a back-to-back, you try to win the first game. That's the one you need to win.
And they're well rested coming into the game.
It's illogical to me that you laid back in game 1 and then you went for it in game 2. In the playoffs, if it's game 7, do you take your foot off the gas because you're waiting for game 8? Like, there is no game 8.
It doesn't even make sense to me. How does it even work? From a GM, I'd be questioning him.
Listen,
like, that's not a good call.
I haven't watched a full Leaf game since New Year's, and I'm so happy that I haven't, because even when they're doing well, just watching them just makes me feel disappointed. Even when they're playing well. I watched them
against Montreal, and they're scattering on the bench. They're putting Tavares, Matthews, Nylander. They're putting Marner.
How do you think a bottom feeder like Montreal feels when a team like the Leafs in the position they're in is like suddenly changing all their lines to try and beat them? Like, we got these guys. Look at them over there, scared, changing all their lines.
If I'm saying Louis on the bench, I'm not saying park the bus. I'm not saying play more defense.
Go at it. Destroy them. This is the league. This is a confidence game. In any league, your rivalry game is a confidence game. And Montreal they built confidence to the max by winning that game. Not only did they beat a good team, they beat the Leafs. Like, get out of here with that nonsense.
Exactly. Like the confidence, like that's the reason why they won that game last night, is because they are like overly confident right now that they could beat a good team like Toronto. And that just blows my mind with the talent and skill and speed that Toronto has. They can't put Montreal in their place. I don't get it. I really don't get it. You came off a bad game with St. Louis. I would think that you would have extra motivation to do well the next game against a poor team like Montreal. Like I don't.
So wait, can I go into that? So you came out of St. Louis, going into Montreal, doing exactly what you said. Like, I gotta win this game to get it back. Then you lost to Montreal and went into Columbus and said, I gotta win this game to get it back, and then lost again. And a horrible. Weren't they winning 2-0 for the whole game against Columbus?
No.
I think it was 1-1.
Oh, 1-0.
They were up 2-1.
2-1. Okay, I misread that.
This is the first time since October that they've lost 3 games in a row. Like, I don't understand.
I'm not really ready to sell the farm.
They're having this cycle. Like, they're coming back to what they were doing in October, and that scares me because
I'm not ready to sell the farm, but I'm ready to sell a big name player, and I'll tell you who that guy is. I've been saying it from day one.
I tell you who I'm ready to sell, and it's the coach and the GM.
Here's the other thing. No, but like I have to say that at least Kyle Dubas is doing something with the cap, the shitty cap situation that he's in. You know, partly that's his fault.
Whoa! It's not shitty. He created it.
Yeah, no, he put himself in that situation. But like the fact of the matter is, he's trying to do things to help benefit the team. He goes and gets a right-handed D. On Saturday to try and help the team. He didn't. The guy that he got, and I can't pronounce his name yet, but Labushkin, I think he didn't have he messed up one time tonight, but he was the guy that had the most hits. Like,
that's what we wanted. That's why he's here.
He's a hidden block shot. That's his thing. Nothing else.
I said it once before, and I'll say it again. At the beginning of the year, I said that the guy that they were going to miss the most was not Frederick Anderson, was not Zach Hyman. It was going to be Zach Bogosian. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It was Zach Bogosian.
Oh, it definitely was not going to be Zach Hyman.
Well, no,
playing on the fourth line in Edmonton.
Zach Bogosian solidifies the third pairing. It gives pressure off the first pairing and the second pairing. It takes minutes away from them because you're not playing Riley and Brody 28 minutes a night. You're not playing Hall, who's like, I don't know what the hell's going on with him, 20 to 22 minutes a night. Like, you have a third pairing that takes that pressure off. And this year, they don't have that. Now, Muzzin's gone, and I did message you guys on Saturday night, and I said, wow, this game is going to – last night. This game is going so badly, I have a feeling someone's going to get injured tonight. And lo and behold, Muzzin is gone.
I mean, and that's crazy, too.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, and that night, like, I'm not going to feed fuel to the fire, but there was the Twitter explosion for a bit of people saying that they were worried that he was going to be hurt because they were planning on trading him, and now they might not be able to because he's injured. Anyways,
you put him on the LTIR, and then you try and bring somebody else.
I hope they weren't trying to trade him, because my opinion, Hall needs to go. They need to add like another.
Yeah, but Hall's not going to get you anything.
He's not, but if you pair him up with somebody else, you might. We don't need more forwards.
Listen, anyways, regardless of that,
so gave away the Zingle.
Caps talked about the trade, so why don't you bring up the trade?
Zingle and Bushkin for what was it? Guys, help me out here. What was the trade for again? Zingle and Bushkin for conditional draft pick and Nick Ritchie's. Jesus.
I was waiting to see if Bargo's like, I don't know.
I was talking about so many other things.
Yeah, listen, very happy. We came into this season with different opinions than Bargo did, but I'm sure he's very happy too now because he originally didn't want him to begin with.
At the end of the day, some things work out, some things don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
this trade was good.
My thing is with this whole movement, you have people scouting this player like before you make the trade, like you know what he is. He's been in the NHL. You're not buying a blank product.
Well, hey, they were right about Camp and Kasha and Bunting. So I mean, being wrong about Richie wasn't that big of a deal.
Bunting is doing a lot better than Hyman. Is it Hyman that was on that line? Because he has that touch where he can finish.
Well, he's actually a solid hockey player.
He has that touch where he could finish, where Hyman did not have that.
He still
You give Hyman a dish in front of the net and it's a 50-50. Bunting, like, there's security there now.
Right? And he's a pest, eh? He brings something to the team.
People also didn't know what you were getting
that's true.
either, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but
you knew.
But Bargo, the fact that you bring that up, I mean, you have to give credit where credit's due. And the fact that Dubas recognized that and brought these guys in and knew kind of what they needed, and they kind of worked out so far. I mean, credit to him a little bit.
Matthews with Bunting, without Bunting, is still scoring 45, 50 goals.
Yes, and Matthews with Marner or without Marner is still scoring 45, 50 goals.
Okay.
I'm not trying
to say Marner is the answer.
No, but I'm just saying that's always been my point. Matthews doesn't matter who you put him with. Do you think Ovechkin matters who you put Ovechkin with? Just get out of the way and let him shoot the puck. But so with that trade, I thought that trade was really good. I know I did mention it was going to be 50-50 whether they were even going to keep both of the players. But I mean, at the end of the day, getting Zingle and that guy, I don't even know how to say his name, so I'm not going to. It was a crazy. I couldn't believe it. We were looking at the trade at work, and we're like, "What the hell? How did the Leafs pull this off?"
Because there's a potential for a second-round pick.
Zingle is exactly the type of guy we needed, but also freeing up the cap doesn't hurt my feelings.
Zingle's gone.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying.
Gone,
Freeing up the cap didn't hurt my feelings either. I'm okay with that. And then the next trade, I'm really happy. Bringing in Conor Hutton tells me one of two things. They're planning to make a trade with him, or they're planning on making a trade with another goalie, which is probably Mrazek.
It's going to be they're not going to trade Campbell. Campbell's so cap friendly and he does the job.
They're not going to trade Campbell. It's going to be they're either going to put Hutton in a package with something, or they're going to put Mrazek in a package with something. It saves them more cap. That's why I figure Mrazek, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, then you had the Brooks situation where they picked up Brooks and then immediately waived him.
I think they were hoping for him to make it down to the Marlies and just keep him there as a backup.
Yeah, I think so too.
It kept going back and forth.
I think that's what happened too, because there's the waiver wire, right? So like they claimed him because they were the first team to claim him, but doesn't mean that teams after them didn't want him, right?
They claimed him and then they thought like, you know what, let's dump him down and see if anyone claims him.
I think San Jose got him.
Yeah, something like that. Or Zingle. I think they got Zingle.
Yeah, either way, man, Zingle's a good pickup for any team. That guy's a solid third line center on any team. Like
forward.
Yeah, a really good fourth line center. If that's your fourth line center.
Back on the Campbell scenario, Campbell is a great goalie to split the season with. If you have both,
he's a 70-30 guy. He's a 70-30 guy.
Yeah.
I like Bargo said it. You need to take away some time away from Campbell, let him rest.
I agree.
There was a period that Mrazek was playing and he started playing well. Why would you not ride him for a
That's
game?
what I said.
Listen, about 3 games.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys thought I was joking when I said that. I was so serious in the chat when I was like, bench Campbell and let Mrazek start. Give him like 5 starts in a row. Let Campbell have a break. He's going to be your guy in the playoffs. And if Mrazek is hot, ride the hot hand. Why wouldn't you do that?
And they're literally doing the opposite of what they need to do as well and playing Mrazek against Montreal. If the worst team in the NHL is scoring on your goalie, what value does he have to any other team?
Who played on Saturday? Was it Mrazek? I believe it was it not Mrazek?
I think so. I'm pretty sure I played him. I'm pretty sure I used him in my pool. And he lost, right?
Well, team in front of him didn't give him much. What was it? He had like the save of the year.
Didn't the Leafs play Friday, Saturday, and then Monday, Tuesday?
No,
I'm
Thursday,
just
Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a lot of games in a short span.
Saturday.
Well, they didn't really play much in January, so
that's true. They did their week off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't really have much else about the Leafs.
I don't really need to.
I mean, I'm not in sell the farm mode. I'm not, but I'm not worried. I'm not like, oh, we need to get rid of everybody now, figure it out. No, but I do think something is happening at deadline. We can see it with the moves that are happening. And this is what happened in the offseason. He started making all these weird little moves that led to like getting stuff that he wanted. So hopefully this works out.
I
Need
want
to
to touch
wake
on a few
up,
things that are
man.
going well when you guys are ready.
Okay, go touch on a few things, and then Caps is going to give us his closing
Closing arguments.
article.
Okay, so right now the Leafs sit goals forward at 3.5. They're fourth overall in the NHL, which is good. Shots on goal, this is where they're like a little weak. They're ranked 7th with 34.7. Power play percent, this is probably their strongest stat. Well, it is their strongest stat, but I think the workload is being shared because not one person is thriving on the power play.
No,
They're ranked first at 31% in the NHL. Shooting percent, here's another one that could be a lot better as well. You hit the net, you're probably going to score. 10th overall in the NHL with 10.2.
that was funny how you said that. It reminded me like you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. You hit the net, you're probably
But
going
if
to
you
score.
put it on net, you're giving up rebounds. You might get a little steeper,
agreed.
Yeah,
or you're fucking
like
snipping it. Excuse my language.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
exactly.
Perfect
In the
example.
last 3 games, and I think I was saying it in the chat, these guys are not shooting. Like you can have the puck all you want, and this team is a puck possession team. If you're not gonna do anything with the puck, then what the hell's the point of freaking keeping
But
it
if
on
you
the
go
stick?
down their lines, like you have line 1 with Matthews, Marner's shooting now, so that line is doing what it's supposed to do in that sense.
Yeah, no, they're
You know what
buzzing.
has been a
The
Leaf
second
killer?
line, you just have Nylander. The third line, you have nobody. The fourth line, you have
Listen,
nobody.
this has been a Leaf killer
Sometimes-
since the post-Gilmore era. The Leafs teams that keep possession and never shoot the puck. I remember years and years and years through the late 90s and early 2000s of power plays where the Leafs just passed it, and the 2 minutes was over, and there was 0 shots on the power play.
And
Shoot
that
the
thing
puck.
is-
pisses me off.
The
That
biggest
bugs the
part
hell out
about
of me.
the biggest part about the power play that I noticed from the last couple of games I watched, which they didn't have enough power plays in my opinion, which is another thing they need to start doing is drawing penalties.
Yeah.
If you're first overall on the power play, you should be drawing more penalties a game.
Yeah.
Um,
Bring back Gary Roberts.
carrying the puck into the zone. When they dump it, they always lose it.
Another Leaf killer since the early
they carry
90s.
it.
The dump and
Why they
chase. Get
carry
over it. Get over it.
Okay, one thing on a 5-on-5 that drives me nuts is when Nylander breaks into the zone and does that board where on the boards he curls and turns around and looks for a pass with no
Yeah,
space.
until the
You're
day
like-
when someone's right behind him and absolutely blows him apart.
you're 2 feet away from you're like 5 feet away from the blue line and you're above the circle. Like, where do you really want to go with this puck now? You know what I mean? You need to chip and go yourself or wrap it around or something, but get the zone
Or
first.
move to the middle.
Or make a move to the middle. He's skilled, right?
Yeah, like he should be doing that. He's fast too.
But
Yeah.
sometimes, like just like that third line, is not as skilled as that first or second line. But that third and fourth line, just get pucks on net, crowd the goalie. I mean, sometimes you got to get those greasy goals.
Yeah, you just gotta
I mean,
watch
there's
Camp and
nothing-
Cash out there. They look
For
like
me,
like,
the first,
I like them.
the third and fourth line, I don't even care what they're doing as long as you're spending the whole time in the offensive zone tiring out the other team.
I'm cool with that, but
But my
here's the
second
thing.
line
Like,
needs to be scoring goals.
the thing is that like last night's game against Montreal, their fourth line was the best line. Their bottom 6 was better than the top 6.
Jason
that's a
Spezza is always the
problem.
best.
That is a problem. When you got skill that the Leafs had, and you got Matthews and Martin on the first line, and Tavares and Nylander on the second line, but your bottom 6 is
Sorry.
outplaying your
Nylander
top
and who?
6?
Nylander and who?
Tavares, the guy who's getting paid $11 million.
Sorry,
But the
Nylander
fact-
and who?
Yeah, he's not.
The hell's Tavares?
he's
Oh,
not
remember the
doing
time when
well.
everyone said if
30
Tavares
points a
was there,
year.
we would have beat Montreal in the playoffs?
30 points a year player.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm pretty disappointed. in this
No,
player.
he
I'm
can't.
pretty sure.
Statistically, he's doing fine.
I'm pretty sure he's disappointing in his lack of play in the last maybe 10 games, maybe. They need to step up and they need to get their shit together. I don't care if I'm swearing or not, but they need to get
But like
their
if you
shit
notice
together
that if you
before
notice
the
other
playoffs start.
captains,
He's got the
they're all-
sauce going.
if you notice other captains how well they're all doing and they're all pretty consistent. Either they're hardworking players, they don't score goals.
Listen,
but they're
I'm
out
not
there playing
doubting
every game.
anything. I'm no
They
longer
go in the
doubting
locker
him.
room. They
as
can
a
go in the
captain.
locker room and hold people accountable.
I'm
Like,
not going to doubt him as a
looking
captain because I don't know. And I'm going to say, as far as statistics go this year, he doesn't look that bad. But he has these moments, like Cap said, particularly in the last couple of games, where he's completely absent. and he doesn't even look like he's out there trying to make anything happen. And that's what you need to do as a captain. I agree with that. But like behind closed doors, I don't know what's happening. I'm not going to judge him based on that anymore because it's unnecessary. We already have our take on that, and I feel like it is what it is at this point for that.
Okay, let me get back to the statistics.
Okay, go give us the stats because Nick's got to give his final article.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So
No.
face-off percent, the team's doing really well, 56.1%. They're first overall in the NHL, so that's good to see. Defensive stats, goals allowed, they're 10th at 2.78. So basically, let's call it 3 rounder up there. Shots on goal allowed, they're ranked 10th, 30.7. The penalty kill, they're 5th. That's not too bad.
They're giving up 30 shots a game. That's hilarious.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. But that's what I'm saying by the goalies, right? Like Campbell would, Frederick Anderson would face that many shots and do really well. Imagine if you had Campbell and Anderson right now splitting the season.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to think
have
about
two
it.
goalies that can face 30 plus shots a night. But when Campbell's doing it 70% of the season, there's going to be fatigue. And even if you make the playoffs, how do you run this guy now too? Anyways, penalty kill, they're 5th in percent, 85%. And penalty minutes, they're ranked 4th.
That's fourth most?
Yeah.
No, that's not good.
So with the numbers with all the numbers that you gave us, where they are at is pretty much a reflection of all the numbers that
you just gave us the 2 most conflicting categories I've ever heard in my life. On one hand, they're like the best team in the league, and on the other hand, they're the worst team in the league. So there's like, I don't even know how to balance that out. This
goes back to my point of more forwards.
No more forwards.
Doing more forwards, but our offensive
stats had your chance at Toffoli, and you goofed.
Our offensive stats are fantastic, but our defensive stats are the complete opposite. We're a middle of the pack team defensively. Offensively, we're a top 5 team.
Yeah, it just has a lot to do with missed assignments, defensive zone coverage. I would not necessarily just put the blame on the defenseman, but it's the forwards. The forwards need to come back and help. And
I'm not, but there's a lot that needs to be addressed on the blue line.
Yeah.
Before you get the buy-in from the forwards. If you have blue liners laying their body on the line, laying people out, standing up for their goalie and making that effort, you're going to see the offensive lines turn around as well and start doing the same thing. Right now, there's no one doing that. Not a person.
Like that has got to be the worst thing I could ever see on this team is when a teammate is not sticking up for another teammate. That's the worst, man. Like,
but that's the culture, though. That's their culture. That's the problem.
That's Leafs culture to like a T.
I don't get that. So let me bounce off. Let me ask you a question. What do they need to bring in? Like, is there a player that you see in this league that they can potentially trade for, hypothetically, they could bring in and definitely this team would do a 180 based on that one trade.
Do you want me to tell you one? And it's going to be super controversial. This is going to be Toffoli was number 1, but I'm putting that away for now.
A lot of people are saying Mason and sorry, is it Manson or Mason? I'm sorry, it's pretty late right now. But anyway, Chikrin.
Oh yeah, Arizona. I would say that, and I think that could be something that's happening. Like I said, because they're like buttering up Arizona with these little trades. But I think, and like I said, this is going to be controversial, and cap wise, it's not going to work. But Mark Giordano, you bring him in for this 1 year to go for a push for the playoffs, and just let him tear them apart in the locker room, day after day after day after day.
I thought about him earlier today because of the fact that Seattle's doing
but he's a big salary. That's a problem. He's like $8 million.
You have to retain salary.
But if hypothetical and it was doable, I would dump the picks like crazy.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think you're going to get 2 years of him, and that's his leadership is invaluable. You can't even factor what he's going to do for your team.
Like our defensemen take cap friendly contracts because they're cap friendly type of players.
He's like 39.
Is he?
Yeah,
he's like 36.
Hold on, I'll Google it.
You know what? If they can bring in Chikrin with $4 million and
like I'm not even
solidify that second pairing,
I'm not even like that intense. Like I would look at bringing in a few.
38.
I would bring in a few. I would bring in like a player like, I don't know, Truba, who's not going to cost you much to trade for, but he's better than like 5 of our defense.
But my issue with Truba is
Then-
he's not going to bring you what you need, which is physicality and defense.
He's a hitting player.
Not
He's
like
a hitting player.
but like how the Leafs
He's a
are
showtime.
hitting.
He's a showtime hitter. He's not a consistent hitter.
Yeah,
And listen,
If the
exactly.
opportunity's there, he'll lay a guy out. But that can
Cap-
also get your team going too. And another player, sorry, Nick, another player that I would bring in is like Petrie from Montreal.
I would definitely take Petrie. Absolutely. And he
Very
looks
popular
great in the last
defenseman
like 10
on the
games.
stat board. He can lay people out. He's a big body,
He's a defensive defenseman.
and he won't cost much
Well, he's
either.
a two-way, but I
He
mean,
won't cost you much either.
I like the Arizona guy, to be honest with you, but
He's a
I
big
always thought
move.
he's gonna cost a lot. They want like 2 first-round picks for him.
He's a big move. He's a big move. But you know what? Where are we going to draft anyways?
I guess that's a
They're
good
in the
point,
win
but you
now.
don't want to dump it.
Where are
They're
you
in
going
the
to
win
draft
now.
anyways?
I get it, we're in a win now, but I think when you look at this is a good example. I was talking about this today. When you look at teams like we'll use Tampa Bay for example, okay? Tampa Bay is a revolving door of up and coming players. So what they do is they get people, they groom them to be the way that they want. As soon as anyone in their main roster hits a salary that they can't afford, they dump them and fill them with one of those guys. The Leafs don't have any more of those guys. The Leafs farm team is over for the next 5 years. So I think the Leafs would have benefited a lot from having guys like that because they have a salary cap issue now where they need to do that and they can't because they don't have anyone.
That's their system, though. That works for them. For us, we bring in young players, young goalies, young anything.
But the reason we don't have that
nothing.
system that doesn't work for us is because when we did have it, we mass like imported all of them at once to our lineup that we have now.
Yeah.
And then we have nobody else now. And now for the next 10 years, we're going to struggle to bring anyone else up through the system because we don't have any picks.
But it's also where we're going to be drafting. You're going to be drafting.
Agree.
So late.
I agree. But
nothing
it would be
from
nice to have at least, I say 1 or 2 forwards, a defenseman, and a goalie that you always have in your system to replace your cap issue. And you
Like
just constantly have that cycle.
Tampa's system works is because they started doing this at the beginning when they were drafting really well.
Look how
and then they're treating these
inconsistent.
players and adding more depth and getting better picks.
Look how inconsistent the Leafs have been in the last 20 years for bringing up homegrown talent in net. Zero. Like the Leafs need to at least start. If you're you want to trade your draft picks, fine. But with all the picks you have remaining, you better draft 7 friggin' goalies. That's what I'm saying. Because you need to hit the mark with one. You need to have somebody like Woll had all this like air about him that he was going to be the next thing, and then he played and he didn't look very good to me.
He's not that guy. He's not that guy.
But he could still be that guy. I'm not going to hate on him, but I'm just saying you need something like that. You got rid of Bracco, which was your boy. You moved a lot of those little pieces. Where's Robertson?
He's injured.
He just came back from injury.
Yeah.
You got rid of Brooks. You got rid of the other guy. What was the other guy that we had? I don't even remember his name. I mean, it is what it is for the Leafs. I don't have anything else. Caps.
I think
Okay,
the system they have from the upper management with what they're doing right now is not working. And if you're in a win now, your picks are irrelevant.
If you're going to win now, you better get me a win now player is what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah. But like you can throw in like Justin Hall in a first overall and try to swing a hitting defenseman.
Yeah, no kidding.
Shot blocking defenseman.
If you pull off a huge move, I will take it. If you pull off a small move that pays off big, like picking up PK Subban for nothing and they retain all of the salary, I'll take it. But if you make me a medium move that takes away a piece that we needed to bring back something else and it doesn't help us, I'm going to be so mad. If you make a medium level move, I'm going to be so mad. They need to go all in or make some kind of steal move. Like I said, it has to be one of those.
They just need to tweak, man. They just need like little sleek moves.
No, they need a friggin' huge superstar defenseman.
Like a
they
team
need
like
Drew
Montreal
Doughty.
to get Petrie, a team like Montreal, they're in the bottom. They're looking to draft.
But Petrie's a huge defenseman to bring in on a team in the spot that the Leafs are in. That's crazy. If you bring in Petrie,
it's great, yeah. But for Montreal, they're rebuilding right now. You throw in a first for Petrie, you could get a nice win there.
Yeah. Listen, we're running out of time. Okay, you got to keep this going. Caps, finish her off with your article, or at least give us one thing. Give us the one that you showed us.
Which one was the one I showed you?
I think it was Marchman.
That was Bargo's favorite. Marchman for Dennis Mallion.
What a trade, Florida!
I mean, you know, it's a really hard thing to gauge these trades like from the beginning. It's like it's definitely hard. But then you know what? Marchman was a guy, a big body, through checks.
And he could
Definitely a
score.
player. Definitely a player which Toronto needed. Look at what he's doing right now. They are absolutely getting destroyed with that trade right now.
But it's like you exactly like our system, though. You look at our system; they didn't see nothing in him. He went somewhere else, and look at the system there.
Yeah, I mean that could be potentially what it is. I mean,
Mulligan, I don't even
sometimes-
understand that move. It's not cap friendly. I don't know what you saw in Mulligan that you didn't see in Marchment, but Marchment was more of the player you needed.
I don't know. Anyways, sorry, I should explain myself.
Is Mulligan even in the NHL anymore?
Probably not. But the article was best and worst trades for Dubas throughout his tenure with the Leafs. I don't want to go through the whole article. It's a lot of trades, man. Like
his best trade was like for a draft pick.
I would say bringing in
rounder.
Sandin, probably the 2018 first round pick, Rasmus Sandin, and 2018 third round pick for going to getting in from the Blues, and the other way was the 2018 first round pick, Dominic Bach. I don't know, going to the Blues. That was probably one of his better trades, getting Sandin back. I mean, you know, this article, if anybody wants to check it out.
Bach. You're going to see Bach's name all over the news next year.
Yeah, no, like if anybody wants to see this article, it's definitely on the Score. One trade in particular worked out. I mean, this was to free up cap space, and this was something that he had to rectify from Lamorella's tenure here, and that was the deal that he made with the Senators. Going to the Senators, Connor Brown, Zaitsev, that contract was ridiculous.
Zaitsev wanted out too.
Yeah, Zaitsev wanted out too. Coming back, Campbell's boys, Cody Ceci, Ben Harper, another dude in 2020 third round pick.
Okay, the best trade they made was the Jack Campbell trade.
Yeah, the Campbell trade. The Muzzin trade was pretty good too at the time.
Yes.
And that was a player that Babcock didn't want to play.
I can explain the Mulligan trade for you. Back to that for the last time. Marchment will look like he was going to become the better player. He showed the skill level that he had. The Leafs weren't willing to wait. The Leafs weren't willing to wait for him to develop. Mulligan had played overseas with Austin Matthews on the same line, so they wanted to give Austin Matthews, the guy, like a comfort piece to play with him, and it did not work out.
I don't even think he played on the same line as Matthews.
But that was the idea. I don't think he played at all.
Yeah.
I don't think he played at all.
I
got to give credit to the 475 Michael Hutchinson trades the Leafs made. Congratulations on that.
You know, the fact of the matter is that Dubas is willing to make certain adjustments and bring in guys. I think in the last couple of years, his eyes have opened up in the fact that, yes, you could bring in skill and speed all you want, but if you're soft, you ain't going to go nowhere. So you need to bring in a physical presence every once in a while, you know? Simmons came, Zach Rogozin was last year. You brought in Muzzin at the time. I mean, you need to bring in a few more.
Okay, you bring in these players.
You got to make adjustments.
You bring in these players and the coach says you're not allowed to fight and you're not allowed to hit anyone. ELE.
Yeah, I can't.
If anyone beats up your teammate, get off the ice.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't comment.
Walk away from.
Anyways, that's it. We're ending it here, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and let us know. Did we record?